Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining today's workshop. We're excited to have you here. Today's session will be led by our Director of International Sales, Dr. Melissa Cowell.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again for coming here. So today we're going to have a webinar. We're going to talk about system design. This is a series of workshops, webinar on the product workshop. So we have a few webinars before already. So if you like to, if you didn't join and would like to have a look at those, let us know and we will send you the webinar links for that. So today we're going to talk about how to implement the Centroid, the new Pro2 2025, the Pro1 in different scenarios. So we won't talk too much about the features of that because those were covered in the previous webinar. It's because many analytic systems out there, especially the CCTV based one, can't do what we are about to show you. So we're not just asking you to buy more device. We're just showing you how to supercharge your existing FootfallCam devices, your previous Max, Plus, 3D Pro, the previous one, with the new device like the Pro1 or your CCTV, and bring them up to the level of bring all of them up to the level of the Pro2 2025 edition. So this is a major step forward, and we want to take a moment to explain to you clearly the value so that you can understand the value of that you already have a great device. It's working solidly for the past 8-10 years. So, and with the upgrade, it can easily work for another 10 years. Yeah. So, and when you have one or two for the devices gone faulty over the time, which is expected, they do have a life, but your existing infrastructure, like the cabling, the position where it's placed, the 3D top-down counting, the Wi-Fi analytics, all these are still highly relevant and effective. So we're here to want to protect and enhance what you already own. That's FootfallCam's commitment. And we're going to spend some time to discuss the upgrade path if you already have something. And if you don't have something, if you start from scratch, how do you want to, what is the system designed for that so that you can get the best for your investment. So today, this scope of this workshop, so this is a series of a workshop. We have covered some of them already, but today specifically, we're going to talk about the system design. So it will guide you through the initial planning, the how do you do it with the floor plan, the coverage metrics, the deliverables, the design justification, the cost of course, the cost analysis. So if you with this combination, how much is going to be, how you're going to minimize your project cost. So we're going to cover all this in here, so you can make a more informed deployment decision. So very briefly, let's talk about the value first, not just the performance, the value. So one of the biggest advantage of our system is its coverage. So you can look at the data sheet here that will show you, I'm going to talk a bit more about the coverage later as well. So you can look at the coverage where it's being mounted. And for example, we did do some assumption here. So for example, mounting at a 4-meter ceiling height, which is quite standard for a lot of retail shops, probably from 3.5 meter to 4 meter-ish. So around at that height to cover a 3,500 square feet area, each of our device can cover 919 square feet at the mounting height of 4 meter. So we are 3 times the coverage of our competitor. This is based on a competitor. You can look at the data sheet where it's online. This is almost the biggest coverage what one of these devices can get. So you can see that we actually have 3 times the coverage. And also combining the lower cost of the Pro1. So we're using Pro2 plus the Pro1 because we can take sister device. So you can cover 3,500 square feet at the cost of $1,100 US. Whereas to cover that area, you will need 11 to 12 devices to do the same coverage, and hence based on the price of $950 US, Sometimes some is probably higher. We know that sometimes you probably have to buy higher than that, but assuming it's at 950 US dollar. So when you need 10 to 12 devices, that's around that cost. So you can see the value itself, just on the cost itself, we are almost a tenth, well, we're literally 1/10 of the price for the same amount of coverage. And in addition to that, we have, because we have three technology on board, actually four technology on board, the 3D stereo vision, which all most of the competitor have. They're either 3D stereo vision or time of flight. We know that that's obviously stopped producing. We also have the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth on board, as well as the AI analytics. They will have more details in the spec sheet and also in previous webinar where we talk more about our NPU, GPU, where we have 8 TOPS of NPU on that, allowing the AI analytics. So with that, we have a lot more functions with the staff exclusion, with a lot more metrics at the entrance, as well as in-store analytics. So that's where the value of it. So from a cost efficiency perspective, both the hardware, the functionalities and the operation, so FootfallCam is typically 10 times cheaper over the life cycle. Now, then also comparing with CCTV, so with the Centroid, like comparing with the typical DVR, like Hikvision Deep in Mind series. So in order to do the level of analytics that the Centroid is doing, so it's almost sometimes a little bit dearer, but almost a similar price. The comparison is Hikvision or any CCTV, DVR, NVR, their main design consideration is for security. So they are fantastic. They're great for security. They do facial recognition for crime, criminal detection, intrusion detection. So all this, they are purpose built for that. But in a way, then they are not built for high accuracy in people counting or the business analytics. So they have basic analytics like this, but they're not purpose built for the purpose of a retail sector or for the purpose of visitor analytics inside your premises. So they do detect threats and record for that. Now, Centroid is designed for both. So we do have the recording, the CCTV recording, motion detection. We do have all this. We have more, and it can also integrate with the other system. So we can integrate with CCTV camera. We can also integrate with our Pro2, our Pro1, and the V9 platform, where importantly is on the V9 platform, where we have all these analytics and all the dashboards and all the AI simulation and analytics on that. So it enables the deep business insights without having to duplicate the hardware. So what you get here is the scalability and cost efficiency and the system that works across departments. So primarily a DVR or a CCTV system is for the security and IT teams. But for this one, not only for the security and the IT team, you're also bridging cross-functional insights to the operation team, sales team, marketing team, obviously to the C-level management as well. Yeah, and the Centroid can reuse all the your existing CCTV infrastructure for that. Now, then comparing, here's a visual comparison between a traditional CCTV camera view with the fisheye view from top down from the ceiling. So CCTV view typically are very focused. Again, their main purpose was for theft prevention. So they need to see it very clearly and for prosecution as well. So if someone was stealing, you have to have a very clear image of showing as an evidence that they're actually stealing from it. So typically their viewpoint is like this. So what happened then is a more limited view for then for data analysis. Yeah. Whereas a fisheye view, you wouldn't have a problem with an occlusion, someone in front of another one. And you typically can capture 2 to 3 owl at once. Now, we do know some customers, you have upgraded to the new, like the fisheye type of CCTV camera, then that's fantastic. So you can then cover more wider area on that. So now we're going to talk about 3 different kind of paths of scenario for when you're designing your system. Some people start completely new. You have never had a people counting before. You have not have CCTV before. So you're building from scratch. So we're going to talk about what you're going to use on there. Then the second path is you do have existing people counting system with us. You are our existing customer, but now you're wanting to supercharge your legacy system, your incumbent system to get wider coverage, for get more advanced analytics without having to fully swap out the whole system. Then the third one is where for larger premises where you have existing CCTV, like shopping malls, airports, stadiums, exhibition hall, big museums. So you can have a hybrid system, hybrid design, where we can overlay analytics using Centroid, using your existing security infrastructure. So let's have a look. So for the first type, which is a new installation, so this is ideal for businesses who are starting up with people counting, and so what you can get from there. So you can maximize your ROI for that. So how are you going to get a cost-effective way? For wide or multiple entrances. So you can use the Pro2 plus Pro1 combo. So typically we are 1/3 to 1/10 of the cost of the other vendors, including ShopperTrack or service. So also lower deployment costs, because if you have less device to install, of course, then you're less installation costs on there, and it's modular and scalable. So you can have that expand it in the future as well. So let's have a look so we split the competitive analysis down to 3. Part 1 is how do you compare with the different entrants with number of entrances and the coverage. We do have a spreadsheet calculator here. So for example, with the assumption our Pro2 2025 is at the cost of $650 with the Pro1 at a cost of $150. So we're comparing with a competitor at $950 per device. So this is how we're calculating. So for example, for a small store, if your entrance width is about 8-meter wide, if you're installing at 4-meter ceiling height, you only just need 1 Pro2 and you'll be able to achieve full coverage of your entrance, as well as a coverage of up to quite a bit coverage if you're wanting to do the install analytics. So if you have a small store where you strategically put it at the entrance, you can do both already. So one counter will already be able to do both entrance and your inside store analytics there. Now, then for if you're having a wider entrance, then it's a small increment on there, because you can then add on a Pro1, which is at $150. You can add up to 3 Pro1 if you have a very wide entrance of 30-meter. So you can use 1 Pro2 up to 3 Pro1. But with the other vendor, you will need to buy another device at the cost of $950. So to cover entrance width of 30-meter, you will have to get about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 devices from there. So nearly $5,000 for that. So now if you have a different number of entrances, again, when you have one entrance, you need 1 device. So it's a little difference there. But when you have the second entrance, again, so you will use a Pro2 here. With the second entrance, you will use a Pro1, whereas here you will need to buy another device. And then here's another Pro1. This is the third Pro1. So you can see this is 70% cheaper. And for an in-store analytic where you want to cover your store, that's a massive difference there. And for that, so we are up to 90% cheaper on there. So now let's look at some, if you have a store with 1 entrance, of course, then you just need the 1 device. But say if you have a wide entrance up to 30-meter entrance width. For example, at the shopping mall where you kind of like don't have a well-defined doorway, so you need to cover your perimeter almost. Then with that, you can just use one Pro2 and three Pro1 at the cost of 1,100. Have that. Now, if you then have multiple entrances, so just have to say this, like for example, in here, if we are using your competitor, which have a it covers up to about 6 meter-ish. So you will need 5 devices to cover this length, and that would have been around about $5,000 compared with 1,100. So now if you have a multiple entrance, again, you can use one Pro2 and the second one, you can use a Pro1. So that comes to 800 US dollar. So obviously if you have more, you can have up to 3 Pro1 if you have 4 entrances. So again, that's a big price difference there too. Now, if you then want to do a full store analytics, so you can use a Pro2 at the entrance and 2 Pro1 on the inside, and you might have a CCTV that you can add on at no extra cost as well. So add that. So of course, if you have more CCTV, then you can also do away with the Pro1 and use 3 CCTV at no extra cost. No extra cost, then that would have cost you just 650. Yeah, so this is very scalable. Now, then if you come to a medium size, so for example, then you want to use a set. If you already got a lot of CCTV coverage, then you will want to use the Centroid to combine one Centroid, and maybe if you have area that you do not already have a CCTV, then you can top it up with a Pro1. Or for example, if the CCTV angle at the entrance was not ideal, you would put the Pro1 at the entrance here for that. So in this case, again, then you are using 16 camera for a full store analytics at 1,650 for that. Yeah. So and if you do not have enough CCTV, then of course, then you can also use add up with the Pro1. So that's still a very reasonable cost for that. Now, so what if you already have so what we would have recommend from here is usually then with the Pro2 at the main entrance or Pro1 at the main entrance, and then slowly then extend it up and up to using Centroid for integrating that. Yeah. So what if you already have FootfallCam devices before? So for our existing customers, so you might have a working 3D Max for that, or you have a faulty device, one of the faulty devices. So when you're replacing that faulty device, you replace it with the Pro2. Then we can supercharge all your existing device on there. So then you can then max it out. So you would remember your 3D Max, 3D Plus, or the old 3D Pro 2, they do not have such a big wide coverage. But when you add the Pro 2 on there, we can supercharge the old devices to have the wider coverage. And what we can supercharge on it as well, then it can have all the latest analytics as the Pro 2, because Pro 2 then now acts as the brain for that, and 3D Max then acts as the obviously the eyes, the fish eye on that. So then it then supports a hybrid deployment and preserving the residual value of your existing system. So then you can continue using it for years to come with the new technology. So you do not need to swap up all your full system. So let's see some example. For example, here you have 3, so we would have needed the 3 max last time to cover this entrance. And now say, for example, if you want to then have in-store analytic. So what you can do is you can add a Pro 2, a 2025 inside. Now, once you add that, you're actually supercharging your existing max to have a wider coverage. So if I go back, that coverage of a max previously was smaller. Now it become bigger, so you do not need this middle one here anymore. So what you could do is you move it over here, then now you get a full coverage. So with the One Pro 2 2025, you can have the full store coverage with the existing one. So here's another scenario where if you also have a CCTV inside already, now then if you then add a Pro 2, we again supercharge the coverage of these two Macs, and you can add on the CCTV there. So you wouldn't need this here. So you can use this one in another store for that. Now, another scenario is where you have a faulty device. So for example, this one gone faulty. So you would have needed, because this one at the moment you don't have coverage here. So you would need to replace it. So if you replace it with the Pro 2, again, we would have supercharged your existing Mac, so you don't have to put the Pro 2 there. You can actually put it inside, and then it can supercharge all your Macs so that it cover the full entrance already. And if you have a additional CCTV, you can add it on. So with just the cost of a Pro 2 replacement, you can supercharge all the others, the other existing one, and add on your existing CCTV to get a full complete in-store analytics on there. Yeah. So that's with the existing setup. So that's usually with the common case, one device fails and that's why the others are still working. So instead of replacing it, you just install that. So the legacy device continue to be operational. Yeah. So now you can also reuse the existing one with CCTV as well. Yeah. For that. So now with a hybrid system, so ideal for large premises where you have extensive CCTV coverage, then Centroid can integrate that into your system and give you AI analytics. So and if you're managing a central server room and all that, so that would be good. Now, you don't have to full replacement on that. You can reuse this existing CCTV and combine with the people counting video analytics. So this is a Pro1. That's probably your analog CCTV, your IP-based CCTV. So the Centroid can also work, it has a VMS for CCTV, so you can continue using it for CCTV, or our Pro1 can also feed to your own on with for that, and it obviously have the V9 analytics on there. So not only is saving costs on the hardware, but also on like new cabling costs, so it just everything reduce in cost for that, and lower infrastructure costs when you're reusing it. So let's look at some example here. For example, shopping mall, large premises that have a lot more entrances. So maybe you would put a Pro 2 because maybe the angle CCTV angle wasn't ideal on there, and you want a top-down view for where you have a lot of traffic. So usually your main entrances, we highly recommend you to use a Pro 2 for that. Because it also have all this Wi-Fi technology on there. So maybe you need two, let's say you have two here, and then you use a Centroid because you have 11 existing CCTV camera there. And then for area that you don't have, you maybe top it up with 11 Pro 1. So that cost comes to 4,300, and for a system of 24 cameras coverage at that cost is a very attractive price. And of course, if you have more CCTV, then you use less Pro 1, and that cost can go down even further. Yeah. So so this Centroid, what it does is some of your CCTV. So you have like most of our client, you have Hikvision or Hanwha or other local brands or Dahua. So you're wondering if you can reuse these cameras to replace, instead of replacing it for people counter. And indeed, as we show you, then yes, you can. And that's exactly what the Centroid do as well. So you can have multiple stream from your devices. So you can have one stream for or some obviously you could, even with the Pro1, you can only use it for security purposes for that. So you can stream to your Hikvision and you're just doing it in your security control room. Some of the cameras, you might do two stream, one stream to CCTV, as again to your control room, and another stream to FootfallCam to the Centroid for the analytics, or maybe some of the devices just purely for analytics. So it's a hybrid. It's a combination of how you want to do that. So this is a overlay. So we that's what we call it, an analytics overlay. So it doesn't replace your existing CCTV. It doesn't interfere with your NVR functionality like recording and your security monitoring, but it just add on top. You just need to have like the RTSP streaming able to stream to the Centroid. We can also work with analog cameras to the Centroid as well. So do talk to us, and you just need to give us the make and model of your devices, and we are able to find whether it's compatible. So what you're wanting to see this is your security system as the body. And the Centroid just adds the brain on top for the analytics. So that. So so for example, we also have a floor plan design. So let me show you a demo on how we can do that. So you can look at here. So for example, you upload your floor plan onto our workspace. It auto calculates the coverage of your CCTV at the ceiling height. So you can enter a lot of things. So pre-set up it. So you can have your ceiling height here is how much, what type of lens you're having for your CCTV, and so forth. So we can calculate the coverage you can have. So for example, if I want to then add another Pro1 over there, I can rotate it and I put it there at this entrance. I want to add another CCTV. So maybe over here, because there isn't, so there's you cover there, and maybe another Pro 2 over here, maybe somewhere for that. So I can do that, and then I can draw an area, a zone. So I can do it like this. I can make any polygon I like for that. And then I can give it a name, like center, foyer, and I can change the color of the zone. There you go. Yeah. And I can also then export as a PDF for that, and that will go there for that and on there. So you can then share it with your team. You can then obviously come here and make changes to that. So coming back to here, it provides you with a system design. So this not only is just so that you can visualize it, and so whether it's for one store, one floor, multiple floors, all that, so you can use that. So so it helps with the initial planning all the way to system commissioning. So you can visualize the layout. You can then mix and choose which kind of devices you can use and then calculate the cost. You can estimate the coverage area, the cabling run as well, so you can look at that. And you can even simulate the CCTV coverage zone as I shown you there. So all the device details you can preset up with the serial number, IP address, even the configuration setting. You can all preset over there as just now. So that, and when you then share the floor plan, the final floor plan to the engineer, so the installer. So everything is ready. Is X marks the spot on the map for them. So then easy for just to make it easier. So it also lowers the risk of installation, any error of that, and saves the time and costs while on site. Yeah. And whilst those zone that you have defined, like the entrance, the aisle monitoring, the queue zone, the heat map, all those, it's all done right at this design stage. And that when you then finalize it, when you then install it, it then automatically move on to your dashboard. So so it helps with all this, with the area configuration, and for that. And it's all on the partner portal as well for our partners, the reseller. So you can help your customers do a system design that way. And you don't have to purchase anything to get access to begin with. So we want is a tool that we will share to non-customer as well, to potential customer. So that you can see from ideation to at the pre-sale stage. So we will invite you to use that so you can discuss this. No obligation on there. Yeah. So if you like, just come and talk to us, and then we can set this up for you, so then you can use this with your customer. So what's the take-home message of this? Of course, is we are here to protect your investment if you're an existing customer. So talk to us how we can supercharge your existing system to give you more in-store and analytic and wider coverage at the entrance. We will help you to upgrade to the latest analytics capability. And also for new customer who are just wanting a simple entrance counting, then we have the widest coverage that you can get, and with the most features that you can get and functionality. And also you can then also map out your future path if you like. You don't obviously have to upgrade to the in-store analytic, but knowing that the future roadmap is there and at just a very marginal cost for that is not going to break the bank. So it's probably good to know. And if you have existing CCTV system already, then you can use this design to help you as well to look at your coverage and to get a hybrid system in a very cost-effective way. Yeah. So now that's the end of today's webinar. I would like to bring attention to the next webinar. We're going to explore what more V9 can do, because V9 is not just a data visualization. We're going to talk about the customization from account customization, like for example, managing franchisee, like different user access, not only just within your main corporation, but like franchisee management, to device customization, the different zone area customization, your business rules. So the customization to integration of obviously all those customization. Now with the V9 tool, you can achieve these within 10 hours because we have pre-built this in the platform for you. Now without this V9, you're using all your other BI system, you probably typically, if you need to achieve that, you may need 200 hours to do it. So you can make use of our platform that we already have. So in the next webinar, we're going to talk about the customization. We will have a few parts, but the part one will be mainly going through the how to turn the configuration into the different configuration to true customization. You can learn how to define the rules, the metrics, the tailor the dashboards from scratch, and the account level settings to match your specific business logic. So for partners and developer, this would be the gateway to creating your own modules as well. Or your specialized vertical application, so you can build on top of the V9 platform's foundation. So whether you probably want to build one for the retail or the shopping malls or the smart buildings, so you can then sell the software solution in your own domain. Yeah, so join us to unlock that. We also have further workshops on the counting accuracy with the sensor fusion. We're going to go more detailed in that one, and a more detailed competitive analysis between the Pro2 and other pupil counters, and the installation calibration best practice, and the actual API integration and data security. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Melissa, on the insightful presentation. We have covered some great points today, and I'm sure our audience has a lot of questions. I can see in the chat we have already received some great questions. We'll now move to the Q&A section.
Thank you. So yeah, we have some question. I'll just go through some of them. The first one, what's the advantage of Pro2 over Centroid? Yes, that's a good question. So Pro2 is specifically designed for people counting because you will put it on with a top-down view. So it has 3D stereo vision on top. So you don't have occlusion. So when you have a top-down view, you don't have occlusion. So it gives you higher accuracy than the CCTV camera. It gives you a very accurate crowd tracking as well. And it also have built-in Wi-Fi, Bluetooth analysis on that. And it has a very big coverage. It's usually a wider coverage than your CCTV. So CCTV are more optimized for security rather than analytics. So therefore the Pro2. Now, so it also depends, like for example, Pro2 can connect up to 3 CCTV or Pro1. So so if you have a small shop where an additional of 3 CCTV would give you the full store analytics, then go for Pro2. Once, of course, is cheaper than Centroid. It also have a lot more functionality at the entrance, and it's sufficient for your small store. But for a bigger store, then probably Centroid will become more economical that way. Yeah. A second question, what does a supercharge mean? What is a supercharge upgrade for existing like FootfallCam 3D Max? So so if you already have our FootfallCam device, be it Max Plus or the Pro2, you don't need to replace anything. So when you add the Pro2 2025, it's going to unlock the new analytics for your older device, because your older device doesn't do in-store analytics. It doesn't do age and gender. It doesn't track the thing, and it also have a smaller coverage last time. But now when you use the Pro2, we're going to unlock all this, and we're going to expand the coverage of your existing like Max. So it improves all the accuracy as well, and as well as keep on using it since you have that device in place, and so you can use it to its end of life. Yeah. Next question, can I phase the deployment? Oh, definitely, of course, and we encourage you to do that. Or do I need to install everything at once? No. So you can phase it. A lot of our customers do start with the counting at the entrance with the Pro2 2025, and later on just add on install analytics when you're ready. So do use our planning tools, the floor plan design, so you can help you define the future scope up front. Next question, can installer or partners help with the system design? Yes, absolutely. We do encourage you to use our floor plan design, so you can use it for, to design it for your client. You can do it multiple times, so you can change your design all the time. So it's a collaborative platform, and that's what it's built for, so that you can then use it to map out the coverage, estimate the costs, and also define your installation scope. Yeah. Next question, do I need to commit to buying to get the design support? No, so this one is for everyone to use, and we offer it at the pre-sales stage. So just come to us. We will give you access to the design tools. We can also give you the consultation. We can help you with it on there. And this is all done before, and also a demo dashboard as well. So this is all done before you commit to purchase. Yeah, so do come forward. The next question, can FootfallCam support multi-floor or multi-zone buildings like for departmental stores or airports? Yes, absolutely. Again, so you can have, just now I show you a floor, you can have multiple floor plan, multiple floor. You can define multiple different zone. You can, and each zone or each floor, you can also treat it as an independent node within the same dashboard. So whether you are a 3-level flagship store or you're a 40-zone bus terminal or airport terminal, our system can support, like a heat map, your timing zone, your movement across those levels. So you can set that all up. It's very flexible on that one. So I think we'll go with our last questions, and if there's any more question, we'll follow up in the email. So how do you prevent double counting when combining Pro2 and Centroid in one zone, in one site? So we do use zone logic, and a lot of time, of course, and you will have overlap in the view. So we do need a little. You don't need to have overlap. We can still track people when they're, when you do, we can have blind spot for in-store analytics. So that's also one plus point, and we discussed this in the technology part of our Centroid, is that you do not need to have a linking device. So it's perfectly fine if you only just scattered your device around. But when you do, so we use zone logic and event deduplication algorithm within the V9. Yeah. So your devices can be configured to designate as zone boundaries, and the counts are reconciled that way. So to avoid duplication when the customers move between the overlapping zone, because sometimes they move here, they move back, and so forth. Yeah. So we handle that on the V9. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming again today. If you have any more questions, we'll follow up with the email.
Thank you, Dr. Melissa, for that insightful and informative presentation. We've covered some valuable topics today, and we truly appreciate your expertise. Thanks again for being part of today's session, and we look forward to seeing you at our next workshop.